Super exciting here on ABC 13 to talk about Disney Plus's new series, America the Beautiful, from National Geographic, a six-part series streaming on July 4th as part of Disney's Independence Day celebration. Brittany, this is from the producers of Planet Earth, and this is an epic journey across North America's most spectacular regions. So exciting.
Yeah, a really beautiful way to see our iconic landscapes. And so with us to talk about this, we have the executive producers, Vanessa Berlowitz and Mark Linfield. Thank you so much for talking to us about this. I'll start with you, Vanessa. Can you talk about how the inception of this project came about? How are we celebrating the nation's independence by looking across, really living the lyrics of America the Beautiful? How did this come about?
We were very delighted to be invited to make this series for National Geographic. And super excited because you have effectively the planet's habitats in one continent and the most diverse wildlife that we've seen. Mark and I have traveled all over the world and we've never seen anything like it. So thrilled to be asked to do this to help you celebrate your July the 4th Independence Day.
It really is just something that's so beautiful, even in the trailer, Jonathan. I know we have that, and I wanted to talk a little bit too about the cinematography of it.
Yeah, and certainly we know that this is the first time we're using sort of fighter jets and high-tech cameras. Mark, can you just, or Vanessa, either one, just talk a little bit about sort of the visuals of all of this and some of the things that have never been done before that we're going to see here in America the Beautiful?
Yeah, so although Vanessa said that we were delighted to be asked to make this, it was also a bit intimidating because North America obviously is full of great photographers and you guys get out into the wilds a lot. So we had to find a way to bring this continent to life in a way that would surprise you guys and in a way that North Americans would think was new and fresh. And one of the tools that we did this with, we used for this project was putting a gyro stabilized camera on the front of a fighter jet. And that allows us to travel over huge distances in quite a short time and give you an amazing overview of your landscapes and your habitats, and also actually show you some of your incredible extreme weather, because you guys have the most extreme weather. And the landscapes and the weather very much shapes the wildlife and the regions of North America. So it was particularly important to find a tool and a photographic style that would bring weather and landscape to life, not just the animals, although the animals are, of course, incredibly important. And I think we've really captured some unique and rare behavior and some really unfamiliar animals, which will surprise people. So this will be a really fresh view, we think, of your continent.
And getting to look at some of this as we're seeing it now is just incredible. Mark and Vanessa, I want to go back to sort of Planet Earth a little bit, and so much of that made such an impact, I think, on the world in terms of appreciating the landscape. And so much of this is about a climate. And Brittany, we see it in our landscapes here. I mean, you talk about severe weather with floods and hurricanes and wildfires and everything else here in the Texas area. How much did sort of the Planet Earth series kind of lead to this and saying we need to do more of this in terms of showing the country, showing the world, but in this case the country, just how special this stuff is and how important it is to protect it?
Well, we look to North America. You are always pioneers with conservation. Your national park system is, it's the crown jewels. It's so exemplary and it's been copied all around the world. So we felt there was no better time than to celebrate American wildlife and to help Americans see what you have that is so special to protect, because what you do, others will follow. So it felt like, we saw how Planet Earth really impacted audiences around the world and inspired them to take action and get out there and save their surrounding wilderness. So we hope that this will have the same impact following this series.
And when you talk about protecting the earth and the conservation, you were even mindful of the environment in your filming and production. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, certainly, let's be honest, sort of apathy and a disconnection from the wild is one of the biggest sort of enemies of the environment. And so it's very important to make something which is inspirational and to have people get out there and see stuff. But in doing that, of course, we all have impact. So you can't go anywhere and do anything without having some impact. And you know what National Geographic and Disney have done is they've offset all of the carbon that we generated in the production of this show with sort of carbon credits. So we are carbon neutral. And you know, even the aerial photography that you're watching now on the screen was carbon neutral and done in an incredibly economic way. We would pre-visualize all of the flights on computer and then only fly just the flights that we wanted to do. So we wouldn't fly any more than we needed to. And all the material is being sort of reused as well. So it was, we sort of had the least possible impact that we could ever manage, really.
It's so interesting, Brittany, and just a couple more here as we wrap to close. The series is a 6-part series looking at, you know, all of the different regions. What was there one? I know everyone with Planet Earth had, Brittany, their favorite one, their favorite region or episode. Was there one that particularly stood out to y'all where you say, viewers, hey, like this one is really gonna, you know, make your hair stand up and certainly make your head spin a little bit?
I mean, for me, it's the South. I was just amazed at the kind of new stories that they found down there. You'll literally be on the edge of your seats watching. We've got a swamp bear who's a mom trying to basically get her cubs safely out of the tree that she's denned in, and she's in a gator-infested swamp trying to rescue them. But every story in there surprised us. I mean, it was hard to make because it's obviously a hurricane hit part of the world, but you know, there are inspirational characters and heroes down there, like our little beach mouse that supports the dunes, that actually give us a solution to make sure that our places and our cities are as protected as they can be from hurricanes.
I actually love the Heartland because that episode is on the sort of prairies and it has the wildest weather. So you've got all of the cold air coming from the north meeting the warm air from the south, and you've got these supercells and tornadoes. And in amongst it, you have the prairie dogs and the burrowing owls sort of trying to sort of make it all work in the most extreme weather on the planet, where you get temperature swings of 100 degrees, you know, in a day. So right. I thought the Heartland was an incredible show.
We know a lot about temperature swings and crazy weather here, but one of my questions too, I know Vanessa, you were talking about the animals and how they're heroes in this too, which I feel like sometimes we don't always, they're kind of unlikely heroes sometimes when you're talking about America the Beautiful. Can you talk about the heroics and the other things that you saw throughout the series with the animals, how they really helped tell this story?
Yeah, I think that's what, you know, we all know that Americans have to deal with, as you say, some of the most extreme weather and landscapes on Earth. And many of the characteristics that we assume with American heroes, being brave and resourceful and clever and crafty, you see that sort of those personality traits in the animals. So it wasn't hard. We wanted to bring those out. Some of them, it was very visible. Others, we had to work more hard, but you could still find them in some of those tiny creatures, like the tiny oak toad that was really smart and kind of made its way through a forest in order to get to an all-you-can-eat buffet, where he found sort of carnivorous plants and then stole the ants. So just amazing feats of heroism, not always obvious, but sort of amazing and impressive in their own way.
And last one on this, obviously the visuals and the impact and the story is so important, but also the voices as well. When I think about Planet Earth, Brittany, so many of the narrators were obviously, you know, famous and influential, but so enchanting as well. Michael B. Jordan putting his voice behind this project. Just curious if you could speak to his contributions to this and kind of how that will contribute to the series.
Yeah, well, I think, you know, we were after a narrator who would bring a warmth and an accessibility and you know, an inclusiveness. And we knew that Michael was really into the environment and really into nature documentaries, and he just seemed like such a great choice. And he so rose to the challenge. I mean, it was great actually recording with him. He would constantly rewrite the stuff that we'd written and put it into his own words, because it was very important to him that it sounded like his story and him speaking. And I mean, we think he did a great job. We're delighted with his performance, and I hope you feel as well that he's kind of warm and speaks to everybody in America, all age groups.
Okay, I have one more question for real this time. But in talking about the voices too, I wanted to talk about the composers and the score, because we're talking
Yes,
about
I'm so
native
glad you brought
lands.
that up. Yeah.
It's America the Beautiful, but the indigenous people who inhabited the land. Can you talk about that and the music that is weaved into this and how they play a role?
Yeah, so we worked with a fantastic composer called Do Trapanese, who's got great connections and collaborations with lots of different artists who come from different musical genres and backgrounds. And we really wanted to get those musical voices into the soundtrack. So wherever possible, we've got Native American vocalists, we've got Southern performers and artists and vocalists who are sort of adding natural aspects of their musical traditions into the score. And that also helps give each region its own kind of special cultural identity, which was important to us. And I hope you'll really enjoy the opening title track, because that sort of brings it all together with Native American singers. We've got an LA choir called Tonality who represent all the ethnicities in LA. And then also Sean Carey from Bon Iver, who writes the vocals of a fantastic song that we can't stop humming. So we hope you'll like it.
Disney Plus's new series, America the Beautiful. Again, all 6 episodes will be available to stream on July 4th. We're so excited. And Mark and Vanessa, congratulations on your work, and thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Brittany, so exciting there, and I can't wait to watch.
I know, same here. I think it's a really unique way to celebrate Independence Day. There will be fireworks, of course, but I think this will provide fireworks in a different way.
Disney Plus's new series, America the Beautiful, on July 4th, of course, on Disney Plus, our family here at ABC 13. For Brittany Wilmore, I'm Jonathan Bruce.